Hello, welcome to another Deconstruction Gaming live stream. Tonight we're going to try something completely different. We are going to do our first live stream first impression video. So we're going to check out a puzzle game called Orbox C. In the description you can find a link to this game on Steam, as well as a link to a free version, a free demo version of 30 levels that you can play if you want to try to check it out. First thing I noticed that I find really kind of cool is that this guy got gamebalance@gmail.com as an email address. That seems like it would have been pretty hard to get a hold of early on, so that's definitely impressive. To set the stage for this live stream, we are going into this game absolutely blind. I have logged in just enough to make sure I could set the resolution for the live stream, and I did adjust the volume levels so that they would be fine. So you will notice that I've got these volume levels down pretty far, at least for the way I've got my system configured. Otherwise it gets pretty loud. Other than that, I have done nothing but read the description of the game on Steam, look at some videos and screenshots, and other than that we're going in blind. So we're going to give kind of a review slash first impression slash start to break down the mechanics like we do in some of our other videos. Definitely a different type of game than what we've been doing. We've been doing MMOs and sandbox games, and this is definitely puzzle, although it does fall into a sci-fi category, which I find interesting. One of the things that did appeal to me when I first looked at the game was the sci-fi graphics. At least from the screenshots and videos, they look definitely pretty cool. So we're going to give that a shot. Alright, so I haven't found any control schemes or anything in the interface. All I've done so far is click on this button and gotten to this, to where I can actually select a pack to play. So, without further ado, let's give this a shot. So we're going to click on Easy, which is our only one available. I have no idea how many levels there are. Looks like 30 per pack. So other interface things that I have found, you got this button that will make it go from full screen to windowed version. Obviously this button will exit. This seems to be a sound slider for the in-game sounds, and this is the sound slider for the music in the background. Alright, let's head on in. Number one. There we go. Now we've got some controls. So arrow keys are WASD, R to restart, find a way to the exit. Okay, that's good. This is U, this is exit. So one thing that I did notice is there is a bit of a backstory listed on the Steam page that kind of talks about these cubes showing up and you have to fight your way out. And so actually they put some thought into why we're solving these puzzles, which I find definitely pretty interesting. Alright, let's see how bad of a player I am. Okay, that's our same menu system, so nothing new there. I assume that will go back. Alright. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is me. This is the exit. I'm guessing, from what I can tell, when they said easy, they are definitely looking at easy. So we are going to kind of try to put this through its paces a little bit, so we will make some stupid mistakes just to kind of see what happens to familiarize ourselves with the system, and then we will move forward from there. So I'm going to do that. Alright, so I'm pressing the A key. It doesn't look like I can go any farther. That looked incredibly painful. Okay, so the first mechanic that I seem to be picking up on is whichever direction I push, you appear to travel in that direction until you hit an edge or a block. Okay, I think I'm getting a feel for what the mechanic is. So the puzzle that we need to solve is, how do I get this block to this spot? If I just press D, I'm going to shoot to the edge. If I press W, I shoot up. If I press S, I shoot down. But if I press A, you notice that it blocked me over here. Now, I don't think this block will do anything. We're going to try to go back in that direction. Yeah, so it doesn't block me as I kind of come in here. Okay. Another thing that I'm noticing is up here, seems the more distance that I travel, the higher my score gets. I'm going to assume this is my score, and this appears to be some kind of a move counter. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so from the menu interface, it did look like that there's a scores and a time data that's tracked. So it looks like there could be opportunities to do puzzles differently to get a higher score, and to do puzzles to where you can get a faster time. Alright, so that explores I think our basic mechanics, at least getting into the game. So let's see if we can solve this. I think I already see the solution. Alright, we're going to do it nice and slow here at first, so we'll be nice and deliberate. Okay, so that got us over to 20 in one move. Hey Whittister, glad to have you aboard. We are trying something completely different tonight. We're playing a game called Orbox C, which is a puzzle game available on Steam. And we're just going to give our impressions of it. All you've really missed was a little bit of exploration of the interface. Well, this is nice and slow now, so now we're going to go down. In this easy puzzle, it appears I only have one direction I can go. I can go here, and I'm going to go up, and now I'm in alignment with my exit. So we got 5 moves. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got a level score. The 130 is the distance that we moved. Level high score of 130. Level time 38 seconds. Record time obviously 38 seconds. Level steps 5. So this is interesting as well in that it does keep track of score, how many moves, and how fast you did it. I would say, you know, for puzzle games you can compete with your friends or just compete against yourself to see if you can better any of those. Alright, so just for an experiment here then, we're going to rerun this level. I'm going to let it sit here. Okay, this is interesting. Now that I've done the level once and solved it, it does show me moves that I've made before. So it looks like the background has at least a path I've used before. This is kind of cool. From a game mechanic standpoint, feedback is one of your best friends. And so if I'm trying to solve this in a different way or faster, at least being able to see some of my past moves gives me a point of reference. Right? This point of reference allows me to say, okay, I did this last time. What can I do different? Now in this particular puzzle, let's do an experiment here. Let's break it. Okay, that faded. That's interesting. Let's go this way. Okay, so this is another cool mechanic. It appears to keep track of your last 2 tries. Now let's restart this. Actually, let's completely leave and go back in. Okay, it does seem to clear that as you go in and out, but I really like that actually. One of the things that can get frustrating is if you're trying to do a complex mechanic and you can't see what you've done before, or you have no feedback. Okay, so the other experiment we're going to run here on this easy level is I haven't touched anything yet. Then we're going to do a nice slow pace, but I'm going to sit here long enough to make sure that we have that nice 38 seconds of time. This is to test and make sure that the timer is actually starting after our first move as opposed to when the level loads up. Given our 38-second time on that last one, I'm going to guess that's true. But we're going to try this as an experiment. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first move, but we're going to be nice and deliberate and slow here to hopefully get a better time than our 38 seconds, but not the quickest that we can do. So we'll make our move there, make our move there, pause for about a second or two in between each one of these, which the game started when I did my first move. Yep. Alright, so this is a good thing. We got our 10 seconds here. So it definitely started after I did my first move, but we were nice and slow and deliberate, so we did get 10 seconds. We've obviously beat our 38 second. Don't think there's any other way to do this in less than 5 moves and between or less than 100 or more than 130 score. But let's try it again now. See how stupid fast we can try to do it. Don't think I'm going to get better than 1 second. Does seem to be rounding, or at least dropping. That felt like it was actually slower than a second. I probably went over a second. I'll try it one more time. I messed that one up. Pressed the wrong key. So that was a 3 second. Alright, so it's showing me my current time and the record time. Try it one more time here. I think that was quicker than our 1 second run. Alright. So I'm guessing it's probably rounding to the nearest second. I'm not sure that you can get it below probably a half second. I am finding the controls pretty responsive. I pressed the wrong button on that one again. But it's not, I don't feel like a really big delay between when I press the key. You know, it's not stopping and thinking or pausing after a move and making me wait a certain amount of milliseconds after a move. So definitely feels pretty responsive. All right, let's move on to level 2. So I would say there's probably a couple of strategies to go about this. Strategy 1 would be just start flinging your block around and figuring out it as you go. Strategy 2 could be to actually try to map out. So I think I see the solution here, and then try for speed right away. We will go with strategy 1 here first. So looks like, you know, if I look at my 4 cardinal directions, there's only one way I can go, and I would say that's pretty normal in a starter easy level, right? The whole point of these levels should be to teach you how the mechanics of the game work, not to try to stump you with the puzzles. So these early ones probably are going to be relatively easy to do. Thanks, Wittester. Yeah, we hit 100 subs over the weekend, I think, if I remember right. Which also means we got our custom URL. So we can now be found at Deconstruction Gaming. So YouTube/Deconstruction Gaming, as opposed to whatever all those nasty letters were that they randomly assigned me. Okay, from this position, it looks like the only way to go would be down. From this position, it's only left, only up, only down. Now, I do like this puzzle as compared to the first puzzle in that it shows that you're going to use sometimes a block more than once, right? So we used it to go this way, and then we're also using it to come down. And this should give us a nice horrible time. 67 seconds. How horrendous. Alright, let's see if we can be a little quicker. That one wasn't bad. 1 second. Again, probably not going to get better than a second, so we will move on. Level 3. I like the transition graphics. They're definitely pretty nice. Like I said, one of the things that I was intrigued by when I first looked at this game is, you know, it's a simple puzzle game, but it looks like they spent some time making sure that feedback and graphics and, you know, little things like the fact there's an animation here definitely make me more intrigued by the game. So I'm kind of visually kind of looking ahead here, but let's not look ahead too much. So my first gut reaction was to go this way, and I don't think that's going to give me what I want, because I think I'm going to get to a point where, yep, so I get here and I've got nowhere to go, right? But this will be a good illustration of the feedback system. So I blow myself off. But the fact that it ghosts this move in here, you know, I now have a visual indicator of what I tried before. So this time we'll try to go this direction. Feeling pretty good about this. Okay, this is interesting. So looks like this is going to be my solution. But now I'm curious. So this gave us a score of 240 and a move of 5. I'm not too worried about the time. Now I want to try to figure out, can I get a higher score? Right? Because we didn't use this block in that one. You know, we went here, 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 and we finished. So is there a way? Okay, I'm gonna try something silly here. Okay, that's good. So what I'm testing here is, you'll notice up here my move counter is going up, but my score is not. So I tried to cheese the system a little bit, and the programmers were smart enough, or the designers were smart enough to basically say, it looks like it only scores when you've visited a new area, right? So I can't just go back and forth, because then if I could do that, you know, I could get all kinds of crazy score. So it looks like, what was that? That was 20 and 40. And I'm not seeing the math on it. Oh, that's really interesting as well. Okay, let's blow ourselves up. So it looks like the first time that you cover a block, they're worth 20 points, right? So this should give me 20, 40 more, so it should take me to 80. Okay, so each one of these is giving me 20 points. Now, what I find interesting here is when I come back over these, watch my score. The score is going to drop here. Don't think this one's going to count. Then it's going to go back up here. So let's watch where it goes from 40. It's hard to see. I think I'm seeing a 30 in there. So that's 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, that would be my guess. So my guess is, when you go over an empty area, it gives you 20 points. When you go back over something that you've already covered, it takes points away. So we started here, we went 20 to 40. Then when we hit this one, it took us back down to 30. It counted this as one we hadn't traveled on, so it takes us to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So that's something, you know, definitely worth learning, is if you're trying to maximize score, if you cross over, you're going to lose some points, right? So in our solution, when I come here, come here, come here, okay, there's no crossover there. But if I ended up with a move like this, where if I came back over, let's say, could drop down and then drop over, I'm going to cross over this little spot here, which is going to take some points away. So again, this is one of those things that in the early levels, if you can figure this kind of stuff out, when you get to a harder level and you can find multiple solutions and you're going for a high score, you might notice that, like, well, if I do it this way, I don't cross over, and if I do it this way, I do, and that might maximize your score. Let's see. Don't think there's another solution. At least I'm not seeing one. Yeah, this was our actual solution there. Got my 1 second. I'm not seeing a solution. I'm not seeing a solution that gets us up to this block. So I'll give the designers another call out here. This is, again, from a tutorial standpoint, teaching you that, you know, maybe not every block is going to be used in the solution, right? and it actually turns this block into, like if you're doing mazes, right? It's kind of like that dead end branch. You know, it's to tempt you to go over there, but you eventually get to the point where you have no moves left that you can actually use. So this block is kind of like a deception block, right? It's trying to make you think there's a solution there when there's actually not. All right, let's move on. I'm guessing level 4. Oh, okay. So this is kind of cool. So the first 4 levels, or the first 3 levels there, have taught us the basics, right? Now it's introducing a new block type. So I like this. I like the fact that in levels 1, 2, and 3, what they were trying to teach me is how the gameplay works, right? I press a button and I travel in that direction. How the scoring works, although I think most players probably wouldn't dig as deep into the scoring system as we did. And then also shows me just how the solution works. Okay, well, I just saw your question. I got an email from the company, and they said, hey, would you mind doing a video on our game? And I said, sure. So we grabbed it on Steam. They sent me a key, and then so I installed it on Steam, and they gave me permission in their email to be honest. They said, play our game, tell us what you think, and make a video out of it. So I mad respect for the developers to, you know, basically allow that. You know, they didn't basically do a, well, we'll give it to you, but you have to be really nice to us. So if I see something I don't like or doesn't work, I will actually call that out. I've already noticed one thing, but I've been concentrating on gameplay. So I will call that out here in a second. So far, the only things that I've noticed is, let's go ahead and close this. Okay. The only 2 things I've noticed is, at least on my system, the music and the sound dials are really loud, right? Like, I'm running my core volume at 20 out of 100, and I've got these at 1% and 5%. With my headphones on, it hit pretty hard when I first turned it on, because this music was, I mean, we'll go up to 50%. So I'm guessing on the stream you can probably hear the difference. I know I can in my headphones. I am also, and this is just personal bias, not necessarily right or wrong, I tend to play my games with the music pretty low and the sound effects a little bit louder. It's just a personal preference. So not necessarily a bug or anything wrong with the game. This could just be the way I've got my system set up. It's not necessarily wrong or anything wrong with it. The other thing that I've noticed, and this could just be because I'm running the game at 1920 by 1080, is we've got, it appears to be a tiling of the background texture here. So what it feels like is, you know, the main texture runs over here and then comes down. Now, I would say 2 things on this. It doesn't look to be the same texture as over here, so this may be on, oh, no, actually, I think I'm mistaken. I think what it is, what I mistake for a tile is a shaded background. So they've got kind of a shaded background for the menu system here. So it created a seam, but it's not actually a seam. So I'm actually mistaken there. So texture's fine on the background. You can see that the colors do kind of flow through. It's just that change in tone between the shaded and the not shaded make it look like 2 different files. Like I said, I don't really say those, either one of those is probably a giant issue, but that's all I've really seen so far that I don't like. Another little minor thing, and I think they did a good job with it, so let's go all the way out. So this is the load screen, right? So as we go into the game, this was the first time that I saw the controls. Like the first thing that I looked for when I loaded into the game was when I was sitting at this menu. I'm looking for, like, where's my options, right? How do I run this? Again, a minor thing, and I actually think it's kind of cool the way, in the starter level, if you look, I can't play anything but this, and they are giving me the controls as I need them. I think as a strategy, that's kind of a cool thing to do. So while I went looking for the controls before I played, because I didn't want to look silly on the live stream and not even know the controls, I couldn't find any, so I was just going in blind. So that's a minor thing. That's not right or wrong. It's just a difference in style. But so far, I do like the way they've been leading me through and teaching me the pieces that I need as I need them. And then the same thing happened here, right? So these are new, so it gave me some new controls. Oh, this is cool. I do like this. I didn't notice this on the first time. It does also allow me to click on these arrows and go back through past controls so I can kind of see things. So very well done there as well. Alright, so our new block is an angle block. By looking at the graphic, I am going to assume that I do not have control. If I push my block in that direction, it's going to deflect and continue. It's not going to stop on the angle like it does on the squares. Alright, so we're starting here. Looks like I really only have one choice of which direction I'm going to go, right? These three directions are all misses. Again, I'll give them props, whether they did it on purpose or not. This is a way to force me to use the angle block, right? The only valid move I can do is going to be to go right into the angle block. So it's immediately going to show me how these blocks work for me to even continue. So I'm going to go ahead and press the D key, and I'm going to assume we're going to get a shot here, and then we're going to stick here. And then that'll be our next decision point. It should also give us some pretty decent score. Nice and quick, so if you're going for time, that's kind of nice as well. Alright, so now I've got a decision to make. I could go back, and that's just going to erase my score and crash me. So that was kind of worthless. I can't go left. I always try to do things to see if I can break the game, right? Like what happens if I try to force my way through this block. Doesn't feel like it could be glitched, but we'll try it here. Yeah, it's pretty solid. So this gives me a choice of up or down. Just in looking at this, up appears to be a solution. Like I can go up, it's going to bank me here and bank me here. So let's go ahead and do this because I see something else that I'm actually interested in. So this is going to complete my level, give me my score. My time sucked, but that's alright. Okay, my score is 340, but I'm going to go back into this now. This is interesting. I do like this. The steps is how many choices that I made, not how many blocks that I touched, so that's a good thing to know. Okay, now I'm going to do that same move, but again, I have a choice here, right? I'm going to go down, which should take me back up to here. So 340 was my score. So now we're seeing this mechanic where I've gone over top of blocks, right? So 340 is what I had before. Now I'm going to be forced to go back over top of these, right? So that took me back down because you notice these graphics changed, right? So it looks like I've gone over this one once and back around to those. I'm not sure why that one looks darker. But now, and actually I'm going to do that again just to see what happens. We're going to keep going over these blocks until okay, so we've pretty much lowered our score as much as we can. So it looks like even if you go over a block, there's still a minimum score that a block's going to give you. Now we'll complete the puzzle. Okay, so that got us back to our 340. But what I think I can do here is actually get myself a higher score. So let's look at this again. Oops, I'm going to do that slightly differently. So this is my quickest solution. It gets me my 340, right? Got me my nice quick time. But now I'm going to try a solution for score, which means I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do that, go back over these, and now complete. And now you notice that my score is 420. my time wasn't as fast, and it took me 4 moves instead of 2. So from a puzzle design standpoint, this is kind of cool. You know, which one are you trying to do? Are you competing with your friends to see who can make the most complex, large path, including overlaps and not overlaps, to get the high score? Or are you just trying to beat it quick? Very cool. And we haven't even gotten through the easy level yet. This is just level 4. So, all right, let's move on. All right, they are definitely getting more complex. We're just going to throw caution to the wind and see what happens on this one. So that was death, but it was kind of cool. It's a lot of stuff going on. All right, so obviously that's not my solution. So again, I do like that it leaves these things, right? It shows me where I've been. The only other move I have at this point is to go left, because right gives me that. So let's try left and see what happens. Alright, so this one, don't really have a lot of choice in, although let's see if we can get it to 1 second, because we have gotten a good streak of 1 second solutions. Yay! 1 second. Okay, I am going to go back into this level though, because I am interested in what this level is trying to teach me, right? Because I'm still in the tutorial level. What is it trying to show? It's showing me that I've got to move here. The only choices, I mean, I could go back down. That's not going to get me anything. If I go right, it blows me out of the thing. But if I go left, I get a solution. Oh, I got an achievement. Let me see. Let me find my Steam menu. View all achievements. Break the Orbox 50 times. I'm going to assume that's because I keep doing stupid stuff like this. So there's an achievement for screwing up 50 times, I'm going to guess. There's one for 200 times. There's one for 500 times. There's bombs eventually, I see in the achievements. That's interesting. There's sensors. There's ice. That's interesting. Gates. Stars. Blocks. Teleports. That's a lot of stuff. This is definitely going to get more complex. This might be a multi-night thing. Okay, so back to the analysis. Okay, so what am I learning in this particular level? I think if I had to analyze this one, it's showing me that these kind of things can be complex, right? There's a lot going on there with just one move, and that you gotta have to kind of learn to look ahead at which one's the best for you. So, all right, let's move forward. Okay, I don't even know what to say on this one. So pretty obvious that we're gonna have to work our way through here. This one's also feeling like one where I have to get aligned and then just let it run. Also could be one though where I might have some ultimate choices. So one thing I noticed in this puzzle is you'll notice that this area is not symmetrical, right? It's not an equal thing, and it couldn't be, or you'd never get out of here. So I think this spot right here is actually pretty important. I think it's going to be my job to get to here so that I can land and get out, right? Because there's no way to stop along this side on this block to align myself. So I'm definitely seeing that. I'm seeing that getting here is an important move. Now this is also one where I think that's the quickest way that I could get there, right? So that gives me 140 points. But I'm going to restart this and say, but what if I come down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over. So now I'm at 290 points versus, what was my other? 140 points. So again, longer, takes me longer to do something like this, but I've covered every square in here outside of maybe that one, in order to up my point total. I've also upped my move total. Alright, here's where I think we're just going to have to let it fly and see what happens. I have a feeling this is going to be very pinball-like. Okay, so interesting. This ends up being kind of a transition that gets me to the next thing. And it's going to be a similar puzzle, right? I noticed that if I'm going to try to get out here, I'm going to have to get here. Again, I could try to get there as quickly as I can, or I can try to get there based off of covering some ground. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go for over here to get down. So let's kind of stick with trying to get as many moves in as we can. I think I probably could have got some more in, but let's just solve it and then we'll come back and look at that. Alright, this is going to be another one where the level designer has basically predefined. I think this is probably going to end it, to be honest. Maybe stick here, but I don't think so. Yep. Alright, our time was not good on that one. Definitely a bigger score though. Okay, so let's do the same thing. In this one we're going to try to see how quickly we can beat it. So let's do this. Alright, then we're going to try to get here, or how many, least amount of steps is what I actually meant. Probably that. So we cut ourselves from 17 to 14. That's definitely a good. You notice my score wasn't as high though because we didn't do as many moves. Alright, this time let's see how much space we can cover. Because I think I can do this one better. I think I can slide that. Then we're going to double up over these. But I think that's going to give me a higher score. 1600. Is that a new high score? No, 1610. That's interesting. So I think down here I'm better off to do a lot of those. But up here it forced me to overlap so much that I actually got a lower score. Yeah. So my overlap theory over there didn't do as well. Alright, 12 seconds. I don't think there's any way we're going to get this one down to a 1 second thing, but we'll give it a see how fast I can get through. What do you think? 4? 3? 5? So this is where I have to be very careful as a game player. Once I get an idea in my head, like I want to try to beat it in a certain amount of time, I'll play the stupid thing over and over and over and over again. We're going to accept 4. I don't think I'm going to get much less than 4. But again, you can definitely see the drastic differences in score versus time versus number of moves. I don't think it's, or I think often you'd probably see these two being linked, right? Obviously the less moves that you make, the quicker you're moving, but not always. Alright, let's move forward. Oh, it's something new. So teleporters. Orbox will teleport between same colored portals. Okay, pretty basic mechanic I'm thinking here. What this allows the level designers to do though is to have multiple teleporters. So, you know, red's going to go to a red, orange is going to go to an orange, and so on. The other thing that I'm learning from this graphic, and I'm just going to assume this and we'll test it when we get there, is the direction your block was going when it hits the teleporter continues as it leaves the teleporter. So we'll do some tests on that, but that appears to be what this mechanic does for us. Okay, again, I'll give some credit to the developers, and they have now simplified the level again. You know, so really, you know, what choices do I have? I can't go up. I can only go to the teleporter. So it's forcing me my move to actually be to the teleporter. My assumption being that when we hit here, we're going to come out down here and stop at this block. Alright, so that's true. Now, again, I can go back, I guess, which was pointless. I can't go right. I could go down, but there's no move there. So another thing that I'm liking in this particular design is also showing that I can use the teleporter more than once, right? Because that's my really only valid move. And so it's showing me now that just because I've used this teleporter doesn't mean it's not still valid. You know, it's still part of the game. So that's kind of cool. All right. Now, it's going to put us into the teleporter for the third time, which should align me back to our block. So, simple as that little puzzle was, I think it gave me a lot of information. It makes me, or tries to make it so I wire my brain thinking in multiple moves with teleporters. So I definitely like that. Alright, 15 seconds. I know we can do better than that. I delayed right there on the end. Try it one more time. So I'm actually thinking my my moves ahead now so that I can hit the key before, so I don't have to think about it. Oh, wrong direction. Don't know if I beat 3. 3 might be all I'm going to get on this one. So here's what I'm finding interesting now is I'm trying to challenge myself. It's turned a simple puzzle game now into a Twitch game. You can see how many times I screwed up, right? Like I was trying to hit the keys so fast that I shot off the top. That's kind of a cool little emergent gameplay, right? It emerges to change the way I play. You know, that slow strategic figure out the puzzle is level kind of the first step, whereas now I want to try to do it as fast as I can. So I'm actually Twitch hitting my keys and screwing up my order and stuff like that, almost like a rhythm game, which is definitely interesting. I didn't see any alternate ways to solve that one, so we're going to go ahead and move on. All right. So now they've introduced another learning mechanic where they have 2 different colored teleporters. Okay, well, I'm going to count this as funny. I'm going to assume they did this on purpose, in that I'm now stuck in an endless loop. Oh, sorry, no, or Whittister, I missed your question. Just a Q&A about my channel, or what are you thinking there? Go ahead and answer that, and I'll explain this. Now, here's what I'm interested in. Can I do anything to break myself out of this loop? Doesn't appear so. Okay. Can you guys? Yeah, you guys can see that. So I got an achievement for doing teleporters. So I'm gonna come over here and refresh my achievement page. So I have mixed feelings about this one. So that achievement was teleporting 100 times. If I just want achievements, let me see if there's teleport. So there's an achievement for teleporting 1,000 times. All right, so let's talk about the good and the bad of this one. The good of this is it's showing me that there are moves that are basically going to get me stuck. And I think that's an important lesson to learn from a just playable standpoint. The downside is if you do have an achievement system, I could just like go to the fridge and get a sandwich, make myself a drink or whatever, and just let this run, because I already got one achievement. And if I just wanted to get the Teleport Master achievement, I have found a way to kind of cheese that achievement. Not a huge deal, but that's kind of like, you have to make a decision. Is it more important to teach the player this mechanic or to preserve your achievement? Now, I haven't found a key that's getting me out of this, so I'm going to assume I can just kind of hit the reload level button down here. Okay, so I've learned something there. So left or right does me no good. I can't go down, so up is my only direction. So let's go ahead and go in the up direction. So now this has put me into another choice. Obviously I can always go back the direction I came, but that's usually not going to be something you want to do. I can't go up. I could go left, but just pre-looking ahead, if I go left, there's really nowhere to go. Up and down are both going to kill me. So really my only logical direction now is to go right. But I also noticed down here, you know, again, it's doing a good job of combining these elements. So as I come over here to the right, it's going to actually put me right back up here because I'm going to bounce off. All right. Same thing on this side. If I go to the right, up or down, oh, pardon me, up and down is it's going to shoot me off the board. So I'm going to go back here, which is going to blast me out to here. I'm in the same situation here. I can always go back. That doesn't do me any good. Down's not going to get me anywhere. So up is going to bring me here, which is going to get me here. I'm assuming it's going to want me to cross over at this point. Although, okay, so this is a moment we can actually look at, because no, if I go back, it's just going to blow me out of the map. So definitely got to go this direction. Going to go back, which is going to put me here, and then that's going to align me with my exit. Yeah, I might do a Q&A about the channel. Something I had thought about when I first made this channel was I've been collecting kind of my notes of the journey. And so, you know, at some point as I get bigger, I do want to go back and reflect on, you know, what it is I've done as I've kind of gone from, you know, no subscribers and no videos to a lot more. I don't know when the natural point of that is. You know, I'm still pretty small, you know, 100 subscribers and, you know, only putting 3 or 4 videos out every week or so. But my next project is I'm going to try to do a 30-day run of daily videos, just short little gameplay analysis videos. But yeah, I think there's at some point, I don't know what it'll be. Maybe we should set some goals. Maybe I'll work on that, like, you know, X number of subscribers or X number of views. We'll do a Q&A type of video. I've seen a lot of people do that. So, you know, like if we hit the, I don't know, 250 subscriber mark, I'm just making up numbers, or if we hit the, you know, 5,000 view mark or something like that, that would be a nice thing to do. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and end this puzzle. Life. Just not getting the videos created. I spent the weekend actually building out a schedule, which I'm going to lay into Trello and try to get a more consistent upload schedule going. So yeah, I think the last videos, not non-stream videos we did, were the Datacron videos from last weekend. Alright, let's finish this puzzle here. Alright, 209 seconds is definitely not setting any records. I don't think this number is going to change here, and I don't think this number can change here. There's really only one way to get through this. So let's go ahead and see how much we can improve. There's no way we're going to get to 3 seconds on this one, I don't think. So let's set a realistic goal here. If we get under 7, I think we'll call it good. So, all right, here we go. I think we pulled 7 off on that one. 5, we'll take it. I think I could probably still shave a second off of that, but we could be on level 8 for hours trying to do that. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. I don't think me playing that level 100 times is compelling stream fodder. Okay, I like what they did here, just from a design standpoint of you're going towards your goal and then you get intercepted by the teleporter. I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. Let's just go. Let's see what we can figure out. Okay, now this is interesting. Okay, so we did our first move. Obviously that blows us up. That blows us up. And I can't go right. So now it's forcing me to actually go back over. Is that going to work? Oh, okay. So there is no valid move in this direction. So for whatever reason, my eyes looked at this and said, I must go to the red teleporter first when it appears at the green teleporter. Don't know if it was done on purpose. Humans tend to focus in on their goal, and my goal is to get to the exit. So I made this assumption that I must just go towards the exit first, not even thinking that there was another valid path. So definitely interesting. Alright, so let's try green, see where that takes us. Only one valid move here. Appears to be only one valid move there. We'll get another achievement for teleporting. Since we scammed that last one a lot, that's probably the... what was available? Teleport 300? That's probably the 300 teleporter. Again, no other valid moves but green, so we'll pop into that one. No other valid moves but to go there. So now I've got a choice. Both of these moves are going to put me into some deflection blocks. So let's deflect right first and see what happens. And that killed me. Alright. So left it is. So we're going to go left teleport and then jump out of that teleport. And that should align us. I think that's going to solve it for us. Alright. 16 seconds. This one, I think 4 seconds is a reasonable amount of time. Might be able to get 3. 5. I gotta try that one again. That didn't feel good. That's the move. I gotta speed my move up right there. I think that's what's causing me not get the time that I want. That might get it. 4. We'll take it. I find this intriguing. You know, again, this is me as a gamer. Not everybody is into this kind of stuff. I do like to grind. I like to do things over and over to try to improve time and stuff like that. So it's definitely hooking me on that kind of like, ooh, could I do this a little better? Could I do this a little better? Could I do this a little better? And as a game developer and game designer, that's sometimes hard to do. And we haven't even broken out of the first 10 levels of easy here. So, all right. Yeah, we still got time. Try to get a couple more levels in here. All right, so star, you have discovered a new mission. Collect all the stars, ride over the stars to collect them. Okay, so now we've got 4 of these. We've got our basic controls, we've got our deflectors, we've got our teleporters, and now we have an added thing to do, right? So my gut is this is going to open up different things in that if I work towards certain paths, those paths should... Oh, actually, interesting. No, this is different. There is no exit on this one. So my gut reaction on this one was going to be, you still have to try to get to the exit, and if you can pick up stars along your way as a bonus versus what they appear to be presenting here. So what I find interesting about this is the entire goal is to collect the stars. So it looks like this level is going to end when we get to 100%. So all these things that we figured out along the way are going to apply. If I go over top of my paths over and over and over again, I'm going to get less score. My speed is going to apply. No complexities of teleporters and the deflection blocks in this one. So this one's mostly just teaching me that this is a new win condition, right? My win condition before was to get to the exit. Now my win condition is to collect all the stars. So in analyzing this level, the first thing, 2 things that I notice. 1, 2 empty spaces, right? So that's going to affect what path I go. And 2, this corner and this corner have a block in it, which is going to change my trajectories. If you look at it, these corners are going to line me up with outsides. These landing spots are going to line me up with that block, that block, that block, and that block. So that's kind of giving me some hints on where I'm going to go. I think I'm going to try to alternate back and forth. So we're going to pop up here and get to our inside. Now we have to decide where do we want to do our overlaps. I could overlap up to this. I'm going to pop down. Let's go this direction. I'm going to leave a block there. Oh, and I can't get back there. So that was kind of a mistake. Alright, so now I'm getting myself to a point where... Oh, yeah, there's my score. My score is about to go down, right? Because I chose a path that's not going to get me more stuff. Alright, so now I got to figure out this. I should be able to get there this way. Okay, so we learned a lot on that one. So these levels, I think, could really, really drive you crazy. Because as you try to work your way through this and maximize your route, like I'm going to go a completely different way this time, right? We're going to go this way. I could see where this could really start to eat up a ton of time of trying to figure out how do I get to these things without overly duplicating my time. Let's see, did we do better? Oh, we did the exact same. We're a lot quicker. We did it in less steps. Oh no, we set a new high score. So all those were improvements. Again, for the sake of not just being a boring video, I'm not going to just run that same level over and over and over and over again, but I could see where something like that would get you stuck. Alright, we got a little bit of time left. Let's see if we can get to like level 15 or something like that. Alright, what do we got here? So my only valid direction is going to be down, right? These are both invalid. We've got a very symmetrical map. So I'm going to choose right just to give myself a direction. So I got a stopper block here. Question is, what does that get me? These aren't going to do me anything. Okay, we'll have to clear that. Oh, that got me stuck. That was not a good move. Okay, so what did I learn on that? I think every move can teach you something. What I think I've learned there is this top part needs to be done last. Because there's no way to get out of this area safely. Right? That's going to crash me. That's going to crash me. So we've learned something there. Okay, so we're going to do this. Oh, I messed that up. Let's restart that. I'm going to do this, that. 3 seconds, not bad. Again, I've been really impressed just overall. I'm assuming it's on purpose. I've never talked to the developers, but these maps seem to be doing a really good job of, oops, that was the wrong button, of presenting scenarios that teach you some aspect of the game, right? Teach you to think in a certain way, and that's been pretty cool. And I just kind of like the aesthetic. I think that looks kind of cool. Alright, same thing here. We've got a board that kind of mirror images or symmetricals itself. That's going to blow me off the bottom. Okay. So what I've now discovered is this has gotten me stuck. Right? If I go down there, it's going to kill me. If I go up here, it's going to kill me. So this loop here is my closing loop, right? That's how I need to finish the level. So let's try something different to start. So that inside loop is my, so let's come here. Let's go get that, and now I think I can do that inside loop. Alright, we'll do it once more, I think we'll try that same general pattern, just going for time. And I think I messed that one up. Alright, we'll go with that. It's better than 16. We cut it in half. 8 and 1 extra step, but that's not too bad. Okay, a new thing. If you ride through the gate, it will close and merge into a block. Okay, so this mechanic is interesting in that it's kind of a one-time path, but now you can use it as a block to stick to or whatever. So see what they present to us there. Alright, so it looks like it's forcing us, again, you know, we can choose to try to go these directions, but it's not going to do us any good. It's forcing us through the gate as a learning thing. And now the map has changed, right? I have a different map now in that these blocks are now things that I can use. So see how let's go back to that one. So as we go through here, I don't think I actually hit those blocks, but they do block me, right? Like I can't go up there. Alright, this is a 1 seconder. I can feel it. Oh, 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure I can get this in 1. There we go. Alright. Let's see. We've done teleporters. We've done stars. There's something called grow. I'm not sure what that is. Gates. There's an ice and a sensor and a bomb. I'm not sure if we'll get through everything tonight, but okay. So we're back to a star collector. Again, it's not giving me a whole lot of choice of where I need to go. So let's go ahead and see what that does. Same thing here. Down does nothing. Going right does nothing. Can't go left, so we got to go up. That is horrendously bad. That's not going to get us anywhere. But now that this is a block, I can go back down. Good teaching mechanic, right? Like, it's trying to show me that once these gates close, it's now a usable block. And now I think we should be able to get down into the inside here. Ooh, no, I missed that one. Looks like we're going to have to get there. Oh, we can go that way. Okay. Alright, we'll do one just to kind of, now that we've learned that, try to get a little quicker. Oh, too twitchy. That felt quicker. 4 seconds, we'll take it. Alright, we're going to run a little over our normal hour here. Because I would like to actually get level 15. That's what I think I was talking about. Alright, this one looks incredibly complex. I have a feeling it's going to be a move, close all the gates, stick me to a block, and then move to the next jumping point. Is what it feels like. Right, so like my only valid move here, you know, again, not valid, can't go up, is left. I'm going to blow through that gate, which will close, blow through that gate, which will close, blow through that gate, which will close, bounce me down and stick me to the block here. And now I've got to resolve this puzzle, because then I'll go here to here, probably block here, to try to get myself over there. So let's do this first move. Because this first move, I think, is going to close all 3 of these gates. All right. So now the board has changed, right? I have a completely different puzzle here. And I didn't see this, but what I'm seeing now is this one is going to align me to the next one. So I can do the same thing. So we'll come up and over. And same kind of thing. I'm guessing here will align me to that one. And now, ooh, I'm curious about what this is going to do. I don't think it's the solution, but okay. So that's something that we've learned, right? If I stop on a block that is connected to an angle like that, I can still get out of it, but I can't, you know, go through it or anything like that. So that's interesting information. Can't go that way, can't go that way. So this is our only logical move here. I'm wondering if we have to align to here. Let's see. Okay, here's another new kind of experiment. On an angle block, can I stick to the outside of them? Cool. So we've learned something there. Learned something there, and then this is going to complete it for us. So we learned two things on this level, which I think are interesting. And we did say level 15, so we'll probably stop here. The two things I learned is, one, I can go to the outside of an angle block. That's good. And two, this kind of weird, this doesn't break the game, right? It makes it so I just had to return myself. What was our time? It was slow. Let's see how fast we can get through this. Let's shoot for, this is a longer puzzle. I think anything sub 9 seconds. I was going to say 8, but I'm going to give myself a little bit of a leeway here. This way. That felt faster than 9. Oh, 9. We'll take it. I'm glad I didn't say 8, and I would have had to do it again. Okay. Well, I must admit, I don't want to say skeptical, but for a puzzle game, did I get an achievement in that last run? I didn't even see it pop up. If I did, let's refresh my Steam. Oh, gate beginner. Yeah, close 50 gates. That was probably the achievement. So I got on our outboard beginner, blew up my block 50 times. Gate beginner, close 50 gates. Star beginner, collect 100 stars. Teleport 100 times. I got that one. And I also got the teleport 300 times because we kind of cheesed the system there a little bit. All right, let's wrap this one up. A couple of conclusion points. Being a puzzle game, far more engaging than I thought that it was going to be. I can definitely see losing some time on this. I can definitely see wanting to play this on my tablet and stuff when I'm traveling about. I can't remember off the top of my head. It felt like on their website they did have some mobile versions of their games. I'm not sure if this one is available on mobile or not. I'm playing it on Steam on my PC. Definitely feels like, given the size of the icons and different things like that, that it could be a mobile game. But I don't see, you know, up, down, left, right controls that would be swiped. So it may not be available on mobile. The puzzles were very, very well put together, at least for the intro stuff. And so that encourages me in that if the intro ones were this engaging, imagine this entire screen, right? Let's just restart this guy real quick. Imagine this whole screen filled with blocks and stars and gates and teleporters and all that kind of stuff. And you're trying to slowly work your way all the way through an intricate maze to get to the end. I could see at the higher difficulty levels, you know, these being really, really, really tough. I believe I read, at least in their demo, the free demo gives you 30 levels. And I only got through 15. Now, obviously 15 in an hour was a lot of me replaying the levels and trying to figure out mechanics and things like that. So, you know, I would say the free game is good probably for at least an hour's worth of play. And then let's go ahead and go back to the menu here. So this is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So yeah, there's one more set which gets us to 30. And then we will look back here. I don't know how many of these packs are available via the original game. I'm pretty sure I either read in their community hub on Steam or in the email that they're either planning to or have released more packs as well. You know, but I'm guessing, you know, if all of these are available in the game, 60, 90, 120, that's 240 maps. I did see a screenshot on their Steam. Hold on, let me see if I can pop this up. Community hub. Or store page. Might be on the store page. I thought I saw a screenshot of sorry, just looking through. Yeah, somebody's looking crazy. I thought I saw a screenshot of the interface showing what all the things were. Might be on their website. But yeah, I would say this. If you want to try this game out, definitely download the free version. You know, play a few levels, see if you even like it. But if you are interested in this, at least at the time of this video, this game is $3, $2.99 on Steam. If you want to start to do a money versus time spent of enjoyment, even if they gave you nothing more than the 30 levels at $3 for a couple of hours of gameplay, that's a pretty cheap investment. I would definitely say I would buy a game like this. I'll have to see. I'm definitely willing to stream some more on this. I'm not sure how engaging it is to watch me solve the puzzles. But what I will definitely do, I'm probably going to do a second stream on this. I do want to do the same kind of analysis that I've done so far, at least until we get through all the mechanics, right? There's ice, there's a bomb that I saw. There's some other mechanics that we didn't get to. So I'm probably not going to continue on my own. Like, my gut is to stop the stream and then actually go through and play through the rest of Easy. But I think I'm going to put this aside and do another stream where we finish Easy. I'm going to guess that if we get through the next 15 levels on Easy, that will have introduced all the mechanics. So I think that's fair for a good review of this game, is to actually get through all of the different things. Bomb, ice, there might have been one other thing that I saw in there. Grow, I think, was one. I'm guessing I might even try to do that this week. This was definitely fun. Probably going to try to do maybe some Star Wars SWTOR PvP tomorrow night. Maybe Wednesday night we could revisit this one. And then maybe get back to a Starbound stream on Thursday. And then I'll try to get some video edited in while we're working on that. So, awesome. I would say thumbs up on this one. This was definitely a fun game. I enjoyed it. And again, for $3 for $2.99, definitely worth the purchase price. I've paid a lot more for games that I haven't had as much fun in. So hopefully you enjoyed the style of this video. My goal was definitely to take a look at this from a development standpoint, right? Not get into just the, oh, just watch me play. But I wanted to really look at, you know, why things are done. Why do we put certain things in? Why are tutorials built? Why do they set the level up the way they do? Because that's kind of the niche I want this channel to have, is explaining the whys behind the decisions in a game and the mechanics in a game. So a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. Look for this video definitely up on the archive, and I will be revisiting this one. I want to play through the next 15 levels and talk about and see what they do with the, I mean, think about it. A bomb's going to be destructive. Grow feels like something that's going to block areas and stuff like that. Ice, my gut is, if I have to just guess at a mechanic, that's a block that you hit once, and when you leave it, it disintegrates, right? So like a single-use block. And armed with ice bombs, grow, gates, teleporters, deflection blocks, and the star gameplay, you can make some really complex puzzles. So Widdister, as always, thank you for being around and being our top commenter. Always love to see what you have to say, even though sometimes I don't respond right away because I get into the games versus watching the chat. But we're going to definitely wrap this one up. As always, check the description. I do have the links to both the Steam page and the free version in the description of this video. The free version is up on CNET Downloads, and I link to the Steam-powered store page on the web, or if you just do a search in your Steam client for the name of the game, which is Orbox C, it comes right up. So those links are in there. Also, our links to social media and different things are down there as well. If you like what we're doing here, definitely share it with your friends. We are in growth mode, so the more people we can get watching and subbing and engaging with what we do, the better off we are. So I'm gonna call this a wrap. Gonna transition back to the logo, and thank you all for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time.